We're recording. You should put your pirate hat back on.
I, it won't go with the headphones.
Oh, what a shame. And all the fans are going to miss out. This would be the perfect time with the visuals, but
Well,
hey.
coming soon to the Dungeons and Junkies YouTube channel, courtesy of Chad from You from the Top Rope, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in a different location. I'm in Ohio right now, so I'm in a very open plan house. So I'm
This is
in
the
Jay's
first time we're
where
doing
Jay's
one.
bedroom is because it's the quietest room in the house. I expect to hear Alexa coming on at some. Everything's controlled by Alexa in this house. So, and the kids like to do. Oh gosh, I can't even say it because otherwise she'll start speaking. They'll say her name and then they'll say announcement and they're like, "What do you?" And they'll just say trivial stuff like, "Hey Mason, what you doing?" I was like, "Oh my God, it drives me crazy." And I didn't realize my father-in-law gets a notification on his iPad every time they do that because we saw it. He logged into his iPad and there's like 100 announcements because they
See,
just.
I can't do that because I've got said device just over my shoulder as well. So,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, so many things.
Oh, does that
You
mean we
know,
need to talk about Miss Bliss now then, as we're not going to talk about it on the show?
no, I can talk about Alexa Bliss, but when you just say the singular, it doesn't work. So I've got to make sure I just say the whole
Oh,
name.
so she waits for the pause and then it's a pro. Okay,
Hmm.
I gotcha.
I noticed something, by the way, Graham. You know, a few weeks ago we were told with a bit of creative license we could have lined up our shops because of my sofa and the chair you were in.
Yes.
We could. There's no way we could have done that because on Skype you can't see where the lineup is. You
Oh,
can't see.
you're right.
It's impossible.
You're right. I hadn't thought. Yeah,
It was very close.
yeah. It was Bishop. He said that. Yeah, it is. But yeah, you're right because I'm on my screen right now. You're on my main screen, but I'm a
Yeah.
tiny picture in the top corner. So yeah, there's no way I could have figured. I hadn't figured that. But when he showed me the picture, I was like, oh yeah, we should have done that. Okay,
If
cool.
we could have thought about it, if it was possible to do, but we can't, unfortunately.
We should have said right at the start, we're recording this prior to recording with JCB in the next half hour or so. I just actually finished, I managed to get a quick recording with MGB because I'm not sure when we're going to get a chance to record this weekend. And then you said, hey, do you want to jump on right now? I was like, yeah, let's do it. Because you never know when there's going to be lots of noise in this house. So I was like, sure, let's get it done right now. So I actually looked on my notes ahead of time. I was like, all right, what do I want to talk about Matt about? And I looked and it was something kind of trivial. So you better. Do you have an open agenda to talk to us about,
I've always
Matt?
got something to talk about, Graham. You know me.
Perfect. I figured you would have.
I
I
am
have something
pouring
to talk
myself some
about.
fire whiskey, so I can like wet the palate, ready for later on.
I could have done that before we started recording, but hey, never mind.
Add to the
It
drama for
adds
my
an extra
purposes.
10 seconds of garbage in there.
Always
Sure.
good, Graham. So what's the trivial thing you want to talk about?
Well, it's the world. It's the disc golf world championships right now.
You've been spouting a lot about disc golf recently.
Well, I got ripped about it on Techers, and Mags is, and well, what Five Nerds Go said I can't even repeat on a show of our caliber. But yeah, no, this has been a kind of a busy week. I've probably watched more disc golf than I've watched wrestling. With it being the World Championships, there's also Euros on right now as well, so there's been a lot of stuff going
So
on.
does that mean that most of your moments will be disc golf related today then?
They're not disc golf related. No, I, of course, when I have time, what did I watch? I watched some, watched some indie wrestling. So, there might be a
Nothing wrong with
little.
that.
Thankfully, I have listened to several podcasts this morning, so I'm kind of been updated on things. So at least some of the stories I will have heard about them, but I might not necessarily have seen them. So, yeah, and I've been playing disc golf as well because I'm on holiday right now. So there's like a whole host of new courses for me to play right now, or
Yeah,
courses I played 18 months ago when I was terrible because I only just kind of learned, and then now I can go back and see actually how I do relatively. So
you still are kind of terrible, Graham, if you ask me. But
I am, but one of the courses is so long. It's almost like a professional golf course. Normally, the course we play is par 54. The one I played yesterday is par 71. That's how much longer it is. Like all the holes are ridiculously long. When I played it 18 months ago, it was about 97 shots, something like that, 98 shots. And yesterday, I think it was 81. So that's kind of a significant improvement. And one of Jay's, he took 100 shots and he was down to, I think about Was he down to? Hold on, I've got to work it out. Do the math in my head quickly. He was down to about 74. So he took about 26 shots off. So it just shows, like, within 18 months, we managed to do something during the COVID situation. Thankfully, we managed to improve a little bit. Oh, you might be able to tell me more about this because obviously I'm in America. It sounds like one of the government officials has been a little bit naughty, Mr. Hancock.
Yes, yes. He sounds like a character out of a Carry On film, Mr. Hancock.
Uh-huh.
Because he has been. But this way, the meme going around right now is hands, face, ass.
Uh,
Because
mhm.
obviously the thing in the UK was hands, face, space. Obviously for COVID, obviously,
Yeah.
and it's come to light that the health secretary, person responsible for dealing with the pandemic, um, basically
Was cheating
had
on his wife.
cheated on his wife. Yes, cheated on his wife. Now, if you now
And there's
personally,
video footage of him embracing the other lady.
there is indeed. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to say about this. First of all, I want to say, on the political spectrum, I did not vote for Conservative. I also did not vote for Labour. Okay, I do vote, and I use my vote wisely. That's all I'll say on the matter.
Well, clearly he didn't vote Liberal Democrat then either.
However, Graham,
Sorry.
the point I'm making is, so what I'm about to say may sound like I'm making excuses. I'm not. Um, his personal life is his personal life, and it's known as his business.
Uh-huh.
Why should someone want to be fired for having an affair? As long as it ain't with someone in the company.
Isn't it more to do with the fact that you were supposed to be socially distancing at this time, and he actually was not socially distancing? He was being very close to that particular lady who was not a member of his immediate family, while he was
Well,
telling everybody else that you should be socially distancing.
one would
Isn't
argue,
that, like I say, I've not picked up everything in the US, but isn't that probably one of the problems?
he's brother to her, not to his wife, but I wouldn't possibly say that out loud, of course.
Mhm. It just sounded like he was being a little hypocritical. Like he's saying, "Hey, you got to stay away, you got to keep separate, blah blah blah."
Graham,
And then,
as hard as we've all tried, there have been times where we've made mistakes during the lockdowns.
Mhm.
That's quite a big one, I give you, but there have
When
been
you're the health official, then
there
that's
have yes. Although I would like to point out, as I saw from a very topical, satirical website earlier, being called absolutely bleeping hopeless and cheating on his wife, he's now odds-on favourite to become next Prime Minister.
I saw that tweet from Have I Got News for You as well. Yep. Uh huh.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to talk about because it's quite refreshing to hear something trivial like that in the news rather than COVID or Brexit or something along those sort of lines, or that terrible incident happening in Florida right now, of course, in Miami. That's terrible.
I didn't hear about that. Mel mentioned it to me, so then I went and looked to see what it was. But yeah, I think latest I've seen 154 missing. It's like
It's
terrible.
it's now 199.
Oh Jesus, right. And also this week as well. Obviously, we're not in the DC. We don't live in the DC area, but we're kind. It's within half an hour's drive
I
from
know what you
us.
mean. Yeah.
The one of the pedestrian bridges collapsed over the interstate.
Right.
I think a couple of days after we left Virginia. So I know it was. I think there was 5 people injured, and yeah, I know the interstate was closed for the rest of the day, and they said they were going to try and open it up for the next day. But yeah, a lot of issues like that. I do remember there was one in Minnesota where a bridge collapsed as well. I know it certainly raised the issue again of infrastructure and things like that. But yeah, to have 2 stories so close together, relatively, of a building collapsing and a bridge collapsing was, yeah, one of them a little too close to home for my liking as well. I know that exactly where that happened. I've driven under that bridge numerous times.
Mm. Did you drive under it when you were picking me up from the airport at any point? Then?
I don't think so. No, no.
Okay, cool.
No, I think I went 495. That's this was I think this was two. This is 295. It's in the same ballpark. Like I
Mm.
could have done if I'd have wanted to. I could have gone that way. But no.
Okay, well, that's good to put a bit of context in things, I suppose. Just small
Uh-huh.
world, obviously, doesn't it?
It's close to where the DC United used to play. They used to play in RFK Stadium, or if you used to follow American football in probably the 80s. I'm guessing that's probably when the Redskins played there, as the Washington football team is now known. Was
And
then
rightly so.
as. It is close to that area.
It's ironic, isn't it? They've ditched that name and suddenly they got really good.
I don't know about really good.
Compared to how they were before.
Well, actually, the other team that's going to change their name is pretty close to where I am right now as well, the Cleveland Indians. So they dropped their mascot in 2016, Chief Wahoo. I used to have that bobblehead in my classroom, so he's disappeared. I'm not quite sure where he is. He's in storage somewhere. And right now, at the end of the season, they will be changing that name. So they're trying to.
What to? Or is it going to public vote?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's going to work exactly. I don't think it's a good idea to put it to the public vote, or else it'll be something like Cleveland, Ohio face or something silly like. Who knows? I think you can suggest a few names and then have the public vote. But if you have it just as a public vote, you're getting Boaty McBoaty face.
Yes, but I think that is light-hearted, not offensive.
There was, I want to say it's San Diego. They did, they voted for a new name for their team, but it was like on April Fools or something, and that basically got through as well. Footy McFooty Face, because I actually bought the boys' shirts for that one. They were going to have the mascot as just a foot with a face on it, and it wouldn't have vote, but they were like, "You do realize this was April 1st or whatever it was?" But I bought the shirts because they did it. They turned it into a fundraiser for, I don't remember which charity it was, but I was like, that's kind of a unique item. It's kind of funny as well. I was like, sure, we'll chip in and get that.
It's always good when something raises money for charity, Graham, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. There was a positive that came out of it for sure.
Absolutely. Even the most boring thing in the world, if it's raising money for charity, it can be a good thing. Always. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. On that note, speaking about boring, did you watch? You've watched a bit of Euro recently, haven't you? Of course, you've been watching. Most of the game, I'm guessing.
Highlights for certainly all the games, yes. I haven't been watching live for every game. The England one's the only one I watched. The second England game was the only one I watched the entirety. I did catch most of the second half for the Germany game, and I kept flipping between the two because that was really exciting, that group. France, Portugal, Germany, Hungary.
I wasn't interested in France, Portugal, because I was more interested to see if Hungary could upset Germany. At one point, England were facing every team from that group on Tuesday nights. Which
it was crazy how quickly it changed. Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday night's gonna be a big one for me because I'm doing Techers, and then at full time, I will be leaving the commentary booth, win, lose or not, because I have to because I'm taking Chris out for dinner.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because it's his birthday.
So
he said you can do Techers. I'm like, fine, but since I'm doing that, I'm taking out for dinner. And he's like, I'm like, where do you want to go? Take Italian? And I'm like, please go to a pub. I'm like, if that's what you want to do, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
And I got a coupon as well, so you better.
So you weren't going to take him out for dinner if it hadn't.
Of course I was. Of course I was.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was going to take him out for dinner anyway. I was going to surprise him with that, but I'm fine. But that's what I'm doing for you, sort of thing. His birthday present may not arrive until the 3rd of July, unfortunately, as well, because it came from China. I ordered it like a month ago, but it's just taking so long at the moment.
Yeah.
But he's going to love it. I can't say what it is in case he does watch this video.
Of course not. No, that would be silly. That would be silly.
That's perfectly okay. I dare say he'll be tweeting out what it is when he gets it anyway.
Follow him at Chris Lewis 37. Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Or check out the Chris Tractor YouTube channel as well. Either way.
There you go.
I would point out as well, because talking about the football, I was rooting for Hungary like crazy.
Of course.
But at the same time, I was conflicted. Massively conflicted because of the because of the laws that Hungary's brought in about gay rights and
of course,
all that sort of stuff, and the fact that they were doing anti-gay chants in all 3 of their games. UEFA is going to be sanctioning them apparently. So in a way, I'm kind of glad it went out. So right away. I mean, not to say the play
stadium up, or am I mixing the stadium up? Like
Germany wanted to light the stadium up for Pride Month, but They want to do it on that date because Hungary were coming to the stadium and Hungary just passed this law. And
Gotcha.
for that reason, UEFA said, no, you can't. You can do it on any other day apart from that day.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But
Okay.
because of that,
Did you
the
see?
Hungarian Prime Minister, or President, whatever his name was going to go there, and it's like at the last moment, I'm not going to go there, I'm going to go to Brussels instead.
Did you see Manuel Neuer's press conference?
I do not know.
So you know that he was very pro rights as well, and
Yes.
he had a wristband on. He had and continually he was touching his face so you could see his arm. Like he was constantly. I don't know if he was playing with his head or he was doing something or scratching it, but he made it very clear so you could see his wristband repeatedly throughout the interview, far more frequently than you would do under a normal interview circumstance.
I know.
Manuel Neuer, I like it.
I know he's got an LGBT captain's armband he wears. He wears that for Bayern and he wears it for.
Oh, perhaps that's what it was then. Perhaps it was perhaps it wasn't the.
It was his captaincy band.
Perhaps it was
He
that.
wears up there.
But
Yeah.
it was definitely. I remember seeing. I didn't see the whole interview, but I saw like the pictures and I saw the story that went with it. I was like, hey, good for you. He's gonna keep putting that message out there as well.
I'm very happy when people doing that left, right, and in fact, I've got a little something to talk about that on the actual main show itself, Graham, which we'll get to in a few minutes.
Okay, that sounded good. All right, we're wrapping this up then.
I think we're wrapping it up here, guys. We're back next week. Take care. We're out of here.
Boom.